Your entire community so often is targeted or blamed for the violent acts of the very few. Most Americans don't necessarily know, or at least don't know that they know, a Muslim personally. And as a result, many only hear about Muslims and Islam from the news after an act of terrorism, or in distorted media portrayals in TV or film, all of which gives this hugely distorted impression.
Oh, man, am I sick of this guy on this issue. Welcome back, folks. By the way, next segment, we're taking your phone calls. Don't forget, 877-NEWSMAX. That's 877-639-7629. Joining us now, Robert Spencer, Director of Jihad Watch and Vice President of the American Freedom Defense Initiative, and Andrew Klavan, award-winning mystery novelist. And remember to check him out on his Daily Wire podcast, The Andrew Klavan Show on the Daily Wire. Hello, guys. All right, let me start with you, Robert. I guess what's not so troubling here is that he went to a mosque for the first time and, accused the whole country of Islamophobia and misstated facts about that. But that he went to the Islamic Society of Baltimore, a mosque that many say have ties to people and organizations that promote or encourage or support terror.
Oh yeah, this mosque is connected to the Islamic Society of North America, which has admitted ties to Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. It had one of the former imams there was a member of the Muslim Brotherhood in Sudan and openly endorsed suicide bombings. He took along with him Zainab Chowdhury of the Council on American Islamic Relations, which is another group tied to Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood, many of whose employees have been convicted of terror-related offenses, and which has opposed every counter-terror measure that has ever been implemented anywhere in the country. And so he must know all about this, and if he doesn't, it's criminal negligence.
Well, Andrew, there are reports that he got a briefing from the FBI, a briefing that he couldn't care less about, which is often the case, about where he was going and who has been affiliated with that mosque. And yet there he was for 45 minutes rambling on and on and on about how great Muslims are and about how terrible Americans are.
Well, it's hard for me to reel with surprise. I mean, this is a guy who started his presidency traveling through the Middle East, apologizing for the greatest engine of freedom on earth to people who run essentially slave states. So it's part of this narrative, and it's part of his way of making, casting Republicans in a bad light. It's a very political, very cynical move at this moment in time to go there and sort of essentially say, oh, look how wonderful and accepting and loving I am and the Democrats are, when the Republicans are saying all those nasty things about Islam and terrorism. It's kind of a political kabuki show.
Absolutely. No, Robert, there is that political aspect to it. Absolutely. But let me ask you, Robert, what message does this send to the terrorist world, to those who are launching the nonviolent jihad in this country, as many have claimed? What message? Do you think it's a purposeful message that he is sending by taking the people along that you alluded to, by going to the mosque that he went to? Do you believe that there's a method to his madness here?
Well, I think he's signaling to them, whether intentionally or not, that he is going to do nothing to impede their plans. And we have to remember that, according to a captured internal document, the Muslim Brotherhood is dedicated, in its own words, to eliminating and destroying Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house. Obama is showing that he is absolutely indifferent to that sabotage and is indeed allied with those who have declared that that is what their agenda is.
Andrew, you agree with that?
I agree that Obama is in league with the kind of academic leftism that basically sees the death of Western civilization as a positive. I don't think he is, allied in fact with Muslim terrorists. I simply think that he thinks Western civilization has been an oppressive mistake. He's always been that way. He's always allied himself with even American terrorists and with the American left, which just feels that America is the problem.
And Andrew, he goes back, we got 30 seconds each, he goes back, he keeps trying to put forth this narrative that, Muslims had every much to do with the founding of this country and the fabric of the country from the very beginning, talking about Jefferson had a Quran or whatever he was saying. I mean, is that a false narrative?
It's not a false narrative, it's just a skewed one, because, of course, he left out the Barbary Wars, where Jefferson hunted Muslim pirates to the shores of Tripoli. You know, I mean, it's all the way you look at it.
Robert?
Yeah, Jefferson had the Quran in order to understand the ideology of the enemy he was facing. There's absolutely not the slightest shred of evidence that he had any respect for the religion of the Barbary pirates. He was just trying to defeat them.
All right, guys, good conversation. I'm sure we'll talk more about this. Andrew Klavan, appreciate it. And Robert Spencer, of course, and check out the Daily Wire podcast of Andrew on the Andrew Klavan Show. All right, guys, we're taking your phone calls next, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to talk to moi, that would be me, 877-NEWSMAX, 877-639-7629. Call now.